Whenever you guys are ready, good to go.
Okay, welcome everyone to the City of Beaufort's Cultural District Advisory Board. At this point, I'm calling the to order, and if we can go around the table, so for minutes wise, we can know who all is here. So I'm Bonnie Hargrove, I represent USCB Center.
And I'm Kathy Mixon with the Beaufort History Museum.
And I'm Mitzi McClure, and I'm member at large.
Downtown Franklin.
Sherry Weatherford with Raven Arts District. Linda Roper, City of Beaufort.
Wonderful. Oh, hey, Sarah. And so anyhow, welcome everybody. It looks like the minutes, thank you goodness we have from the July meeting. So I've got all my stacks here there. Thank you for all my stacks, but I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing with minutes.
I gave it here when you jumped in the walk in.
We did.
You want to look at mine real quick?
Here it is, here it is.
Here it is,
Yeah,
right here.
there you go. Thank you, thank you. Has everybody had a chance to look at it? Does anybody need a minute?
I think that.
So if I could have a motion to accept.
I make a motion to accept the minutes from last meeting.
I second.
All those in favor?
They
They are accepted. Very good. It's a great meeting last time, kept it to an hour. I know we can do it again. So update on the Arts Festival. We did have a really nice meeting. That I don't think that was after we had this.
Yes, exactly.
It was, and so we'll kind of have an update. We met with our friends from the neighborhood group for Washington Street Park. And they were wonderful and enthusiastic, had lots of questions, and I really appreciate the city being there to answer a whole bunch of questions. So we're waiting for them. They are to have a budget. We were supposed to already have a budget from them. I reminded them today so that we can kind of move forward. I also looked, and there is a small grant from the South Carolina Arts Commission that is open for $2,500 that might be able to help with some of their cost as far as maybe some of the entertainment or something else. So I've let them know that it's there, and hopefully, and Ida Walker is the chairperson for that committee. So I've contacted her and Stacy Applegate to let them both know about it and let them know we need that budget ASAP. So
Sorry, Bonnie, what, how much was that grant?
it's only $2,500, but it's something, that might pay, who knows, someone. And it looks like it's open, so we can do it even after the first of the year, it looks like. But be more than happy, and whether that's something that's through the city or whether we want to get any other partner to do it, we can certainly find out about that. Some of the questions that came up, I think, which I thought was handled, of course, well. The park itself, we're planning on it being available. That was one of the questions that the neighborhood had, but everything is moving forward. I don't know if any of y'all have driven by a very large stage.
Really?
Yeah, it's significant. I'm like, whoa. Yeah.
It's a great, I think it's gonna be a great addition to the neighborhood, and I think that this neighborhood is going to embrace it.
Yeah.
For what it was designed for. I'm really pleased with it. But this is what the neighborhood representatives really were pushing for, was that a large.
No, I mean, it was great.
Now, will they have lighting there at night? So they could do like evening concerts if they wanted to?
You'll have to bring in some lighting, but I think we're programming some lighting in. Yes.
Cause that would be great in the community to have some evening.
And I'm sure that
Concerts.
they made sure that they have adequate power, and then,
Yeah.
all these people bring trees and stuff like that, so.
We
It's
designed
easy
it
to light.
for sound, the the electric and all that, so we're really trying to think this one through.
Good job,
Good
Linda.
job. Thank us.
I hope it
I
works
know
for
we're
you.
gonna miss, yeah, we'll probably miss the mark on a few things, but I think we're trying very
Okay.
hard.
No,
We've
good.
actually engaged a sound company to help us.
Oh, good, good. That's the right way to go. Okay, well, that's great. So, I know that, Kathy was just asking me about all the things going on at USCB. Happening, hoping to have a meeting with those of you who offered to help with the USCB events. Hopefully sometime this month before we get into crazy time in September. A lot of things are already in the works. I'm just waiting for them to be approved, which, by some artist I sent it out to, which is the call for entry, to make sure that it sounded exciting and what they would need. And next steps after we meet, Linda will involve y'all, because we'll then need to be able to advertise it and put it on certain sites that artists and vendors will be looking for what we're planning on doing. So,
And Jennifer is here to kind of speak on a couple of things, so when you're ready.
oh, I love for Jennifer to speak. Please speak, Jennifer.
So, okay, so I know we're stuck on USCB, so, for the festival, so we'll go back to the festival. So I was tasked with, getting some items to you, so depends on where you want to start. We could start with like just timeline of what we do to get ready for, and remember, I'm gonna put the caveat out there. I came in the middle of taste planning.
Yeah.
So I picked it up, so I'm in the planning of shrimp, so I haven't had a whole 100% cycle. But I rely on Linda and Sarah to help me along with that. So I put it together, so I'll just take one and pass it down and go back and that. Kind of like a pseudo outline of what I'll be looking for. Now, these are not hard, fast dates because they can change and I'm still working on a lot of stuff. So this was just, I was asked to put together some type of timeline of what I was looking for, what days happens, things like that. So this is just a really rough one.
Not to interrupt, but during the meeting, this was one of the things that came up, that these were things that if we could put in some sort of portal or in a Google Drive.
That's what I have. I'm getting ready to give a SharePoint. I just want to go over some of the stuff before I put it out there because we haven't really reviewed it here.
Got it, thank you.
So, and then, so this is just a brief overlook of what we kind of do.
Got it.
I kind of backed out and kind of did the dates that I would do for shrimp, and I just kind of backed the date into May.
Got it.
I also was tasked with asking how we do volunteer guidelines. I do an online sign up for volunteers. Right now it's kind of genius, we'll probably move away from that to another functionality, but we can always add volunteers to that portal for USCB or Washington Street Park.
Who gets that?
Well, who gets that? Well, right now I send it out to the previous volunteers from the previous events, and then I put it up on our website, so there's a link there.
Okay.
So, also, if anyone wants to go up and find it, I mean, we come it down and, we send out reminders and everything like that. So this is a little thing that we put on there, like, volunteers must be 14, but if they're 14 to 17, we ask that they have an adult with them. Basically, dress code, we give them a t-shirt, weather permitting clothing, we'll do letters of appreciation for any military that they requested. Like that, so that's another thing. And then I was asked for a list of our current sponsors and how they do, so here's a list of our current sponsors that we use right now. So if you were to go find some other ones, these are the ones that we have been using, or actually have been either in kind, cash, or partner
So these are sponsors that you
currently.
currently have, so we need to find some additional ideas.
Right, now we're
Sponsorships.
We'll look at the sponsorships in a second. So also, I don't know, I'm gonna throw all these paperwork because I didn't know we were gonna have a quorum the other time. So also, I took some, and this says May 2nd, it should have say May 3rd. But I did 2 applications, one for a nonprofit where you wouldn't charge anything, and one for, basically took the Christmas, night on the town application, reworked it for taste. So I put together a nonprofit just to have a table, whether or not, I don't know if anyone would charge for any of that stuff. So there's that one, and I did one for food, which has rules for being a food vendor. So,
So all of this will be in the portal where.
it will be in the portal once, once.
It's great, Jim.
Yeah, so we haven't really done a lot of approval of looking at it yet, so I would need to sit down and do some stuff, so we haven't gotten that far yet. So, but I wanted to give you what we had, and there's always room for, on these, so, but like, if you know, if you look at them pretty quick, they look, we would change color, they look really identical really quick, this one has food items on there. So, how to do it, you know, what not to do, make sure that Washington Street's in a residential neighborhood, to be courteous and not block driveways and stuff like that, so. I'm gonna leave it at that for the moment, so these are one things we were just, the one thing that, I had some difficulty starting and kind of moving forward with was sponsorship. So I do have our packet. Okay, so here we go. I just want to, that's my last string, I promise. So I just want to give you our sponsorship, so I know the dates, I know, I really quickly, I'm still working on shrimp, so these dates are. I understand that, an update. So,
This is huge.
so
Thank you.
this is our sponsorship packet, the way it stands today. Good. So,
Has this already gone out to these?
no,
sponsors?
no, because we're on trip right now.
This is the city of Beaufort sponsor.
This is the
Right.
city of Beaufort chocolate for the taste of next, for taste next year, and basically it's, right now we're working on shrimp, so this doesn't go out until October, and I think that's listed on the.
Okay, on the timeline.
So right now, I know we want to incorporate some of your sponsorships in here, but I don't know what to offer them. So if you also sponsor Washington Street Park or USCB or something like that, I don't know what to give them, or what the banner, or what you're willing to, what you're offering, what they can have.
Got it.
So,
Well, I think we can look at what you usually offer,
Mhm.
and I think then discuss, whether there's any additional things that we would offer, or whether we would stay within your framework, which means,
You know,
yeah.
I would hate for us to create a separate sponsorship packet.
no, we
I
would
think
incorporate it.
we need to put like one more paragraph, and maybe it's Friends of Washington Street Park
Yeah, that's what-
sponsorship.
That's what
For
she's
two,
planning.
yeah,
to do,
okay. for
And that's
two
why
things.
she was saying that she didn't know what we want
Okay.
until we discuss what it is.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so this, and then also, this is also available, so if you go to Shrimp Fest, right, the Shrimp Festival right now,
Mhm.
you'll see basically the same thing, but for shrimp.
Got it.
And
Okay,
it looks almost, I mean, because right now they're kind of a carbon copy of
that's
each other.
nice, very nice.
So, this, don't use this as gospel yet, because it's not been vetted out for next year, so.
I think the biggest question here is what do you wanna offer it to be like a friends of Washington State Park
Or
the
USCB
Arts
or the
Fest-
Arts
Arts
Festival.
Festival. And what do you wanna call them? And then what's the amount? Because as we discussed at that meeting with Enda and Stacy, we were saying that if you have a specific sponsor, you know, like what, if you have a friend,
Yeah,
sponsor for the arts portion, then, we would make sure that that would go towards your activities.
Right.
And
Oh,
your
okay.
thing, so we would separate them kind of out. And, you know, our normal all together sponsors will help fund that $15,000 budget, but then, if you want something more specific, and then that kind of raises what you can. Does that make sense?
yes, absolutely.
Words are not coming out of my mouth.
Yeah,
It may
put on a
very
lot.
well be that somebody wants to be, we might see somebody that wants to be a jumbo partner at 15 and then have ours broken out. In addition, would you like to support blah, blah, or blah, blah? So they might do 1,500 and then 250 for Friends of Washington Street or Friends of the USCB.
Yeah.
Yeah, so one person might want to, you know, just give a little extra for one of those others.
And you may have sponsors that are specifically arts driven or specifically
Exactly.
neighborhood driven that don't, well, they would love to be at Taste, but maybe they can't normally do that much because it's such a higher ticket dollar item. So,
No, this is great, Jennifer. This is so much information and so well put together. Thank you. so
Yeah,
much.
It really breaks it down.
yeah, so I'll give you access to the, once we review some stuff, and I'm just gonna put like sample across them because they're not, nothing's obviously
Yeah.
done yet and
Mhm.
vetted. across it, so you can at least look at it more than just this.
And our deadline for additions, changes to anything that you're,
I would like those, because I want to get them out. I tried to get it out right after trip, so I'm gonna get out. November, because I want to get on people's budgets. So right after Shrimp, like a couple weeks after Shrimp, I want to put it out.
So we'll say a deadline of October 15th.
Yeah, is
Does that sound?
that okay with you? That's after Shrimp.
Yeah,
like,
no, we
people
should be
by
able to-
dedication.
Meet with both Washington Street Park and ourselves
Mhm.
and come up with what we
Levels of
have.
sponsorship
Yeah,
and what they get.
right.
And if you need any help, I mean, I know some of this I want to kind of expose a little bit myself.
Okay.
But if you ever come up with something that you kind of go, I don't know how much they have to value this, so,
Right.
you know, if you were to, my rule of thumb is if you were to go to retail and try to do something, even though you probably can't buy something like, this is so expensive, it's so exclusive, you can't do it, but if you were to buy something like, how much would that cost? Is it gonna cost $1,000 and you're gonna give it for 500, so it's 1,000 of the value, so you can show type of what value you get out of it, and it's also good for their tax purposes. So, be sure, and I want to put on here, be sure we include your tax, whatever tax it's coming to the city. But then we're gonna cover that, so I wanna make sure that those folks know they get tax breaks on those things by doing, because the city's a municipality and that's a donation. You know, even though they get something out of it, they're tax magic.
Okay.
and we did talk about, just to make it a little bit easier, like a food vendor that you have at Washington Street Park. It sounds like it's going to be more like the church, some of the churches in the neighborhood. And so we were like, well, just so you make it a little bit easier, that everything, if they sell it, then they sell it and then they keep the profits from it, you know. So it would
As an
not,
enrichment back to them. They want to do something that will help their Ida's program and park of feeding program.
right, and I think it would just be easier than providing finance department down there to sell tickets and
Right.
it still be in the same kind of the way we do the food vendors in Waterfront Park.
Just
So we
one cash location, they sell the tickets and then use tickets for everything,
Yeah,
like we
what,
do at Shrimp Festival.
like Shrimp Festival, we don't wanna do that, we just let them purchase it
Directly from the church.
from the.
Oh, I see what you're saying, yeah.
Okay.
So we're not, so instead of having finance down there
I
to
see.
do that,
Just
because
like
that's
individuals.
additional staffing and
That's true.
all, but it still goes back to the community, I mean, it.
Well, and it might make it a little bit
helps.
easier for the neighbors in the neighborhood to just walk over and buy a hot dog.
Yeah, without
You know, and not have to go to another booth and buy a ticket.
Tickets are annoying.
Yeah.
I mean, so if you left over.
And they're kind of a necessary evil for a big event, you almost need them.
I know.
So that's why there's a fee on the food one. It's just 125, you can determine whatever fee you want, so you get some money back from, if you wanna charge the food vendor. And charging the food vendor gives you a little bit, you kind of vet out who's gonna pay. Cause you, I'll be there, and all of a sudden you got 8 people set up, you got room for 8, maybe 8, but only 4 show up, and you have other people that may wanna come, so you don't wanna, it kind of puts a little skin in the game.
You're charging a fee for them.
For them to set up.
Yeah.
Yes,
And that's all
Yeah,
exposure
it
we
makes
have.
them,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
makes,
That
guarantees a
makes sense.
commitment on.
guarantees to come out,
Yeah,
you can charge whatever you
church
want.
Business, what church?
Oh,
I don't
gosh.
remember which one it was.
There goes one in the neighborhood. Sorry, blank.
Well, that's all right, cause I got one too, that's why I'm
Okay,
asking.
there you go. No, I'm sorry, it just said, it's not rolling off the top of my head.
Who was they?
They would be a church in the neighborhood that only does a fish fry. I think, you know the.
I know, I can't
churches
do-
in there.
I'm-
You might
Yeah.
have to figure out which one it is.
This is in the Northwest Quadrant, right?
That's the one I
AME
have in my head.
The AME maybe?
Yeah, could be. It
Yeah, I
could
would
be.
think
We,
it
I
would
have
be
it written
the
down on,
AME, yeah.
yeah, but whatever it is, it's something that they are used to doing. So they really want that to be a neighborhood celebration and feel very, it's a big word, y'all, neighborhoody. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you're going to kind of an old time. Right, so,
Yeah.
so I think, I think it's gonna be incredibly charming, because it's going back to all the things that, people of a certain age, remember. Stacy Applegate is so excited about the cotton candy machine.
Remember on Artist Sunday after,
Yeah,
she put a cotton candy machine on
she's
that.
very, yeah, so anyhow, I mean, it was fun, just, I mean, I think it's gonna be very popular and wonderful and.
Well, and it sounds like it's gonna be fun, and I think it might encourage some of the other neighborhoods next year to think about doing
Well,
something.
I like the idea of neighborhoody. I like that
Well,
word.
thank you.
I do, I think it's appropriate.
I told
Webster just
Webster.
didn't understand about those things back then.
Okay. So, so anyhow, I'm sorry, I'll probably have by the next one, which one it is. In fact, I'm gonna ask
Okay,
Ida whether they will come to the next meeting.
okay, but they're the ones involved.
They are doing all the planning and everything. Like, on my phone. So no, I mean, it's a beautiful thing. They will continue to meet with us. But pretty much they will do all the planning and the work, report back to us.
Okay.
Now they have their connections with the city as to how it needs to be done in a professional way.
Yeah.
And who to ask about what. So, it's moving forward.
Okay.
And we plan on meeting again,
Yes,
if I remember correctly.
yes.
Should get some input from them on potential sponsors that they think would really be involved with that community too. Like, who knows, maybe the car wash up there on Boundary or,
Yeah.
even just some of the local businesses that are not far from that neighborhood.
Yeah, I feel like I said, we'll see, you know what I'm saying, Linda, other than, but it really depends on their budget once. They really need some input from certain people that could not be at the meeting because they had other conflicts. To really talk about cost of the entertainment and things like that. So, but they were able to find out that, the sound equipment person that the city uses, they're also gonna try to contract out to see if they'll go ahead and add that as a venue to support, and things like that. So I think it was, and, next time y'all are welcome to come. It was pretty fast and furious and checklist and stuff, but I can make sure somebody from their committee comes to the meetings. Yeah, that was good. So I would say that, are there any questions that you could ask? I realize that's a lot.
Do they know it's like an entertainment they're looking?
Very specific to the Silas Green, theme that they're doing. So it will be much more kind of carnival-esque and a little bit dated. So, yeah.
Vaudeville, isn't it like vaudeville?
Yeah. So I mean, I think within that, so I just,
That's fun,
yeah. So, but I think they were waiting to get like some more. If anybody have any questions or whatever, USCB and the, we'll be meeting the next 2 weeks. Trying to figure out all of our things and get it out there. It's a little bit, we will have music playing, but I wasn't planning on, since it is kind of a fair, you know what I'm saying, not necessarily entertainment per se there, but we could certainly look at that. But it's hopefully not gonna be quite as expensive and we can help since we already have the venue. And we did discuss tents and other costs, and we found out that historic, Garrett has a lot of tents, so we're really trying to cut cost anywhere we can for these different events. So, but, and we'll probably just do food trucks at USCB just because it's easier. And they're already vetted and they're already easy. Yeah, so.
Convenient place to put them in.
Yeah, so I think it will all work out how it's supposed to, but again, do y'all have any questions or anything?
Is that right?
So-
Okay, it must have been.
It's like we're so used to it.
Wakes you up at night like that.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Cool, so, I think we're moving on to, I have so much paper now.
I am sorry for the tree.
No, I deeply appreciate my paper. I'm just trying to remember where I put the agenda. What's next, guys?
So well, wait a minute, so the link to these documents in OneDrive, you're gonna send that out?
I'll send it to Sarah, and she'll disseminate it out. But I just wanna go through and just do a little tweaking and then write sample across the front of them, so you know that they're still being worked on. That too. These are just kind of, I don't want to, what do this bad word, I took them and I thought through them, but they're not tight yet because we just don't have all the details.
No, they look pretty good.
Yeah.
This is beautiful.
Well, that, I'm gonna say adding nothing.
Okay,
So
so
that
that's
rolls.
ongoing.
That's an ongoing one. I just updated some pictures, but
Good to
that's,
have history.
yeah, that's an ongoing one.
The updates.
I'd update the logo with the dates.
Okay, so repairing.
Repairing benches.
Our
I've reached out, we've been talking about this, there's lots of the benches that needs to go into storage and be repainted. I know at the last meeting we talked about, I know that, we wanted to have some of them pulled and put into storage, which is a burden on the city. Apologize. There
We
you go.
just don't want them to sit.
No,
So we
I
need to
think,
make sure that we have a plan, because number one, most of the benches that you have plaques.
right,
There's also that if we were to remove the benches, then the plaques are just sitting here.
got it.
The plaques need to be updated and kind of worked on. But
Well, what
we also don't wanna pull those plaques, the holes and all
Yeah,
that.
can you just, you know,
I
like,
can't paint them
can you
in
bag,
place.
can you bag them temporarily if you've got a, I mean, I know they do that with signs sometimes.
Well,
Just coming soon or after repair or something like
You
that.
mean the signs?
Yeah, the signs.
we could take the plaques and put like, because you're gonna replace those plaques
Yeah,
anyway,
okay.
right? And that's
Take
the
the
plan.
plaque off and just leave the pole.
No, I think I would leave the plaque on
Yeah.
and like you say, in repair. I mean,
Okay.
For
Yeah.
coming soon or
Yeah.
updates,
Yeah,
you could do a pretty easy vinyl.
And then just take it off and replace it when.
When it, when
Yeah.
it benches.
Yeah, that makes a lot more sense.
What I wanted to talk to advisory committee about is, I think every year we usually have $4,000 to $6,000, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, 6. So I'd love to be able to commit at least 4 of it to redoing, this is me making it up, y'all get to say things. But to go back to, get a quote on having all the signs replaced. And then also in trying to, be able to do some sort of honorarium and get all these benches repainted. And try to give it maybe a date of by February 26th or something, something that moves us to make it
Make it
happen.
happen.
I called Ginger to check on the reconstruction one because she was taking that as her own project. And I have not heard back from her, but I really appreciate her taking that on. But, I do think if possible, if we could get them somewhere, but Linda, if we.
all of them.
No, some of them
So
still. Hey.
I did get an email from a resident asking what happened to that bench. So they do get notice that they get removed. And I think we need to set up a timeline and just pull 1 to 2 benches at a time to restore them instead of pulling all of them because we don't really have the storage for them. And it is a big burden on our public works to pull them and move them.
Okay, so I know that digital is in storage and so is Santa Elena, is that correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so, digital, I think we've just been waiting for the correct design proposal from them.
And we've asked them to like revive their design, who was designing it,
Got it,
but
right, and
We
then
haven't-
Santa Elena, are we keeping that the Santa Elena bench to represent that part of our history? I don't
that's
know.
up to the, I mean, that's up to you.
So that
that's
was the
like
museum that did that and they're gone.
I'd like to just throw this in, this is way out in left field, okay? And I'm only bringing it up because this is gonna be an ongoing issue, I mean, it's never gonna end. And I think we all understand that at this point. What about the thought of, as these benches are in disrepair like the Santa Elena, I mean, it was horrible. Take one at a time or two at a time and replace them with the concrete benches like we've got in the parks, the different parks that are permanent, they're heavy, nobody's gonna move them, and do brass plaques or, what do you call it, bronze, I guess, but that's probably way too expensive. Anyway, do the, never mind on that one. They do the brass plaques with whomever it is that is the contributor for that bench. And then you can take those little signs, those poles, and have a little sign with a QR code and have information about that business and just do a little bit of artwork that represents that business.
I think we were not trying to make it about a
That takes
business.
away the art.
Yeah,
I think,
Well, I understand,
I think
but-
what we should do is as they, are in disrepair, we do kind of like we're doing now and say, Helena, do we need that bench there still? And if not, we just pull it out and we don't have a sponsor for it. We pull it out of circulation. We may not need to keep. all
And maybe
of
have someone else sponsor it.
Right.
For instance,
Right.
Santa Elena,
yeah, Freeman Art
they're
District.
going, does someone else want
Yeah,
to sponsor
yeah.
this? And
But you know what I'm saying,
redone
just saying, we need
building.
to kind of evaluate and say.
right, but you're still
we need
having to
those.
refurbish every year, at least two of them, indefinitely. That was my point.
Yeah.
Jeremy?
I did something similar to this in Columbia. And I, just a thought of what we did is we had the graduating classes. Sometimes we'd have graduating classes from years past, sometimes.
High school, college.
alumni.
All.
Oh,
the above.
okay.
And they would be responsible for the benches, and it became this thing that was a real sense of pride. So I don't know
Maintain
if
it.
that's something that could be done. But having, you know, you could even do a little competition there between the art teachers, art schools, art classes. That was something that kind of took it off our shoulders on something we were working on.
Look how many schools contributed to the Chalk Art Festival and did chalk art.
That's exactly what
So
I,
that might be something that's a good idea.
They were in
Maybe some of the
line.
schools.
to help us with that.
And if they don't do all of them, they might at least take over a few of them and make that an ongoing project.
And they could work with the history departments as well, so you get that accurate history, you get an art component. And then you have the youth involved, you can even have classes of 20-year marks, like say, class of 20 years.
2025, it'll be 25, class of 26.
So with that being said, maybe I don't wanna listen to me, I don't know what year it is, but the class of 2025 and then the class of 1985, it's something that could really be good for the whole community.
And so would we reach out, I mean, I think it's a great idea, but so would you reach out? Like just to that, I mean, how did y'all get the individual high schools?
There are a lot more high schools in Columbia than we have here, but
Yeah,
Yeah, but the schools here are very, very into the arts. They were in Washington DC this summer, winning an award for the arts in Beaufort County schools. And so they're very invested in this.
We found it really easy to get them involved and chalk it up.
Yeah, so I'm
We were
sure,
turning people down.
yeah.
We had so many.
yeah, but you do have a lot more in Columbia.
I'm talking about the chalk it up here.
Oh, okay.
So they, you know, they're there. Now, I don't know, you know, how the logistics of that is.
Yeah,
so you have the contacts that you reach out to that you worked with for Chalk It Up. Absolutely, we could reach out to the same ones,
It's relatively
see if
easy.
they would.
I guess this would be that the city would need, to get the benches to the schools where they would take them, or does that work?
Could the schools not do that? I mean, I'm new to the bench. This was more of a little sculpture we did. So I am new to the bench, so y'all.
A bench creates problems because typically they have to be sanded and
Yeah.
stripped and all that kind of stuff, so it's not
Can
exactly
you
just
get-
like a painting over.
Do they not have
Yeah,
workshops?
Do they not
very
have
dark.
like a workshop that can get involved as well?
That's, yeah.
Yeah, the shop class.
I mean, think of all of the experience that they could get, the on-hand
Yeah.
experience.
The benches just have a very
and then-
short life in
Right,
this sun and
right.
heat. And they just have to be continually redone. So I guess my question is, and that's a great idea and I love it. But is this gonna solve anything or this just
Not really,
somebody,
you're right.
this gonna be the same thing, just different people?
On your
Doing the artist.
topic of possibly doing the concrete, which I do like, I've seen them,
Yeah.
well done all over the world.
Yeah.
But, to have that art component, I think is the, a big issue.
That's pretty much the whole.
That's more
But
But that could be on the QR code.
having a site, you could even so easily plug into a site, a landing page with that QR code
Yeah.
that takes you directly to the art while someone's talking about the history with a simple voiceover.
Yeah.
So,
And
that
you
could
can
be-
involve the schools in that because the students can write the dialogue and you can get the ones that can articulate it. I mean, you know,
I think
you
the
can do a
wooden
lot of
benches are gonna-
involvement.
I mean, you're gonna have to have a long-term plan,
Mhm.
for the wooden benches, and it's going to get very expensive, whereas that money could possibly be reinvested in something else if it
Yeah.
wasn't.
One of the things that when we first started this, we were very eager and excited. But one of the reasons that we moved towards the wooden bench was because of the partnership with Habitat. And also we couldn't afford the metal ones. The metal ones are great. So maybe we should go back and look because, there's certain paint you can use on it. I mean, so it's not a porous thing,
Surface,
so it's easier for it to maintain its thing.
Right, but again, the
And you
acrylic
can
paint
replace
is just
them
plastic
one-on-one.
and the sun is gonna take it off.
Let me, I agree, and I don't know
I
everything.
mean, that's what we've been fighting and that's what we'll continue to fight. My whole idea and premise is that we are just dumping more money into the same thing. It's just over and over and over again. As opposed to taking those benches, making them really nice, and then finding something else that we can do to improve upon the art, to put around. I mean, there are other ideas out there. I don't know what they are now, but that would take us to something else. But to me, it doesn't make sense to just keep pouring this money in year after year after year, because we know we're doing it and we know there's no end. Anyway, that's my speech.
Well,
I'm done.
yes, there you go. Okay, and thank you. We appreciate it.
Can you not paint on concrete? Can you put a mural on a concrete bench?
Yes, but I would,
You can. I don't know about a mural.
I mean, a painting.
Yeah, but you can paint them. I've painted concrete, but it's
You're
very,
gonna
it
have
is
the same
porous. You have to see.
you're gonna have the same issue.
Well,
whether
why
it's
is,
concrete.
the boots that, Baja did, the boots are not fading.
Yes,
They've got
the concrete
marine-
concrete
they've got
lasts
marine-
longer.
Are the benches, I'm sorry, are the
Boots
boots?
are not concrete to my knowledge, are they?
I thought they
No,
were.
they're a fiber,
I mean, I'm constantly moving one.
so they're a fiberglass that is covered with a marine green.
Great.
Which
Okay.
some of the benches were done properly with and then we had to work through which marine grade
Right.
to use. And some of the benches don't look that bad,
Yeah, because they.
because they've got the right finish on them.
And where they're placed.
And
too.
where they're placed
Yeah,
also.
if they get
Yeah, they're
shaved
Like if they get shaved, you're
and
not seeing that. Some of the
when it's
benches,
on a flat chamber, it's not quite as bad.
Well, I mean, keep those.
The Arsenal's great, the one at the Arsenal.
And it may be that we
Well,
have.
that's where
an
Santa
annual
Barbara was,
celebration.
it's horrible.
but she did it with the right, with the
Yeah.
right marine grade.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant
I think-
location, not the bench.
Well, it sounds like that we certainly need to discuss this more. It sounds like we have a bunch of varying
We need a
opinions.
bench committee.
Yeah.
Maybe so.
Yeah, cause I really kind of think, if we're gonna keep them, we need to say, look at where they are and ask the people where they are, if it's, like at a school or something, this is in disrepair, do you wanna continue to sponsor it? And if they do, have them pay for it to be restored, and if not.
Yeah, and a
Cool.
QR code is a lot easier
Yeah.
to replace.
I think lovingly, I disagree.
Okay.
Only because it was supposed to be an outdoor art project, was the original premise. yes, it has not always been successful. But it has added some discussion and color and whatever to our environment and history. Where to me, you know, I'm with a whole bunch of kids and I'm like, I gotta sit down. I don't know from the little bit I know about my grandchild, go, oh, look, there's a QR code. Let's take a picture. You know what I'm saying? Like where they look at the painting and then they start saying,
they sit
well,
on
what's that about? And they, you know what I'm saying?
And that's in their memory book.
Right, it's
Painting
more
with
of
on the
a
bench.
interaction. But again, we all have a voice here, and so I heard what you're saying. We don't wanna throw money out, you know.
Sarah's mom.
Hey, Sarah, please talk.
Sorry. I agree with what you're saying, Bonnie. I've seen people stop at the benches at Waterfront Park and take pictures of those and read the plaque and learn more about it. And they would not do that if they were just walking past a bench with a metal nameplate. It's the art and the picture that attracts the people and draws them in to learn more about that story.
Well, that's kind of why I said you could have that little plot, that little post with the thing on it and have a little bit of artwork which would catch their attention. And then the QR, I mean, all kids know about QR codes. We may not, well, my generation, not so much, but all the younger people do. I mean, that's what they do. They all check out all the QR codes. But that way you could take them in and get them more into the artwork of Beaufort, get them into the artists who did the work. You know, the school and the arts in the school, the arts and whatever. I mean, you could take it into a lot deeper information.
Well,
You know, but again, I think we do need to talk about it because we can talk this to death.
um,
And I agree with you. I love the benches and I wish they did last. It's just that they don't.
Well, can I just,
Yes,
I would like
please.
to interject. I mean, I think that I've been here since we started the benches in 2018. There's been no money invested in those benches other than the other,
Get them done.
when we've got them done the first time. And we're going down a road where we already say, we don't have any money for it. Yes, right now you're saying, let's get them done and come up with a plan. Because what we did was they sponsored the benches, whoever sponsored the benches said, we will cover that cost to redo it and maintain it. Even though the city said that they would take on maintenance, but that business or whoever was sponsoring it was saying, hey, we wanna do this, we'll help you.
We never
maintain it."
pursued it.
Okay, I
We
was
never
not
really
privy to
pursued
that
that.
information.
Right
I can't
now,
wait to.
you have not spent any additional money other than the original purchasing of the benches, and that was coming back in sponsorships.
Right, well, I know
With 7
originally we
years.
didn't,
Yes.
but right now to get them refurbished, who's paying for the refurbishment?
Well,
That's why we should go back to the sponsors.
You can go back to some of the sponsors and some of them are doing that.
And some of
Like the
them,
digital.
like, yeah,
Yes.
So that's not our $6,000.
And Tabernacle, I don't know if
I don't
anybody
know
is.
what's gonna happen,
Talk
because
to them.
Reverend Hodges said that he was gonna handle it,
Right.
obviously.
well, and I think this is life. I mean, things have
Yeah.
changed. Santa Elena is not here.
Right.
Beaufort Art Association did the bench a long time ago which was Santa Elena. And now a lot of the artists that are either no longer living here or whatever, they are not here. So, I mean, I think it's just a very big project. I also think that Kathy, if you'd like to, for the next meeting or whatever, really research your cement benches and your concept of what you think that would look like. And then I think, if, Mitzi, if you would look into the beginning of this, all started from basically looking on the internet and stealing ideas. And so it came from, there you go.
Borrowing.
Yeah, there you go, borrowing. But Louisville, has a really great bench project. And it's actually some of them are based on books. But they are metal. So let's look at,
So I'd like to make a comment about metal, and it may last longer downtown Beaufort than it does where I live on Harbor Island. But metal lasts about 1.5 years and then it's rusted from the salt air.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm getting
I
around
agree
every
with that.
kind of metal.
My, my biggest problem with metal is when it's 100 degrees out, it's 150 on that bench.
Yeah.
Well, and it could be that I'm not saying metal, maybe I'm saying fiberglass. Maybe I'm saying, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Some
But
other,
some other thing,
some
an
other
option
yeah.
that is not cement and it's not wood,
Right.
okay? And then, I will talk to Linda, Siltsavan, who has been successful in having successful benches. Some of the things that we have noticed with the Center for the Arts bench, which is about the Beaufort College. I think the point of whether they're in direct sunlight.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that, and maybe that's something we need to look at, is to start thinking about where could we place them, that they are not in such a. Which is why I think the Black Chamber of Commerce looks good, because it's got an overhang. I'm not saying that everything needs an overhang, but so why don't we
The
go,
ones at Waterfront Park do not look bad.
yeah, and they've been out there for 3 years.
And they're kind of in the shady area up against the bushes.
So, you know, maybe that's something we learn. So why don't we go about this, if that's
Yeah.
okay, in 3 different directions?
Okay, yeah.
I'll come back with, you know, this is what has been recommended. If anybody else wants to look into what else could be recommended or another option. And then at the next meeting, why don't we have present your option? And maybe we could even go to a vote as to which direction we want to go in for next year with.
Or, you know, maybe have several different ones. You know, if we know it's gonna be in a sunny location, we need to go with a different kind of bench, a
Right,
different idea. And if it's gonna
Yeah.
be shady, because I think everybody agrees that the painted benches are definitely the primo option. But
yeah. So I mean, I just know that there's other successful bench stories
yeah,
out there that maybe we could learn from, and then we could also learn from what we've learned here.
Yeah.
But Linda, I appreciate your comment about we really haven't in the, how long is that?
That's been 7 years.
7 years.
That's
There really
impressive
hasn't
that
been
they held
any-
up that long.
Yeah, because a lot of the people have kind of taken care of their own, you know,
and that's, and we need to look at that too. How many benches are, you know, self-sustaining?
right.
And, you know, the Arts Commission would not, has anybody reached out to the Arts Commission about the Santa Elena bench and said, hey, or do you wanna redo this bench?
Oh, you mean to the art? Yes
Was
and
it-
no. The answer is yes and no. I think Linda, did reach out to them to try to find out who the original artists were.
What Linda are you?
I'm sorry, Linda, back to Linda Silksavan.
Okay.
There you go. Or whatever, to that Linda.
I mean,
Linda S.
it's you're right.
I know. There's Linda's
I'm sorry,
everywhere.
what's Linda plus?
It's really sad.
Yeah.
I was getting confused with Milo and the Phoenix.
Oh, okay, then you're Svelin and I'm Sylvan, but it's the same person. Right?
Okay, that's so much less confusing. Okay, so
Hey, Linda, wherever you are.
yeah, she is online and he's all knowledgeable when it comes to things like this.
Yeah, no, she's pretty amazing. She really is. So
Who is she?
And I'd like to add to what Linda said about that, we haven't put any money into those benches. If we do refurbish them 1 or 2 at a time, and then we stay on top of it, every year, we do bench inspection, and does it need more?
maybe you just keep adding her
Just clear coat every year. And that would be a minimal expense if we did that every year to 1 or 2 benches,
Yeah,
rather than all of a sudden now we have 8, 10 benches.
Well, just like the reconstruction bench, I do not think it was. and
no, it was one of the very
It was
first
one of the
ones.
first one of the first ones, but I don't think the marine grade that was used, because it immediately started kind of
Mhm,
cracking, stuff like that, and it really is not in a very sunny
No.
location.
No, it's in
So-
the shade.
I mean, I think that that's great that Ginger's gonna redo it and all, so I think it just is. It's how we approach it.
Right.
years going
I
forward.
agree.
Yeah. So
And if we don't wanna add more benches to the project, don't have any more numbers, this is a little bit of, this is a manageable number.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it is.
agree, I agree.
yeah, I think it's, but does that sound like a good plan for
I
us to
think
have
so,
different?
Can we go ahead and
Make a
determine
motion
that today?
What do you mean?
So that we can
Victoria?
Determine what,
The benches that we do have, we just need to come up with a maintenance plan. And, you know, instead of adding more type of benches and more research to that, just go say, hey, these lasted 7 years, that's not bad. And do what she said, we do a couple of years, stay on top of it with a maintenance plan. And that would be, is that,
I mean, that, if that's something we wanna put to a vote, we can.
And do you
I
wanna
hate to give
commit?
up on those benches.
Well,
I just
yeah.
love them, and I hate to give up. So,
Well, you know, I mean, we can't, so the answer is, if you want to put that in the form, you know, of a motion, then we can not force the vote, we can say, well, okay, then this is what we're doing for the 25-26 year.
I make a motion that we create a maintenance plan to keep the benches that we have. And let that go for 2 years, see how that works, and then revisit it. Does that make sense?
I'll second that motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
And then
No,
And then
okay,
next-
motion
at
passed.
your next meeting, come up with a plan
Mhm.
and then decide how much money you wanna commit this year.
Okay.
So,
Really, the only issue has been the paint, they haven't brought it or.
No, they're
No,
not.
it's just the fact.
It's the paint or the wraps, cause if we had some wraps on, the
Yeah.
city of Beaufort one, we're
Yes.
gonna pull it and redo that one
Yeah.
also, along with the BDC one, so.
Okay,
And we have a listing of who has agreed to maintain them.
other than the changes that I listed, happy that there are some people that have, it has just changed.
Right, yeah, well,
Yeah,
I mean,
there you
that's
go.
life.
So, yeah, so I mean, those we do not have, which makes them a little bit
Right,
either up for grabs or we use our own money.
okay,
Meaning the 4,000 I had suggested out of the 6,000 to actually repair.
okay,
But there needs to be a step-by-step process of this is what you do, this is how you bring it down, all that sort of stuff.
okay.
So going forward, who's gonna help develop the maintenance plan?
I will look into it. I'm happy to speak with Linda,
Okay, that would be great.
and I can get some of that information.
Okay.
And if anybody else knows of anyone they can speak with, just give us a call.
And I know we have a list of all of the benches and who the original sponsor was. So we can go back
Right.
and reach those original sponsors, and if they're no longer there or no longer interested, maybe we can go for a new sponsor
Right.
for that bench and
And then that
Said,
sponsor,
or
we
should
take
we
over the
just
cost.
start over.
Or
Start over from
or begin
scratch.
with the project, with turning
the-
them into the schools.
Turn them over to the
Turn them
schools
over to the schools
Yeah.
and let
to
them
refurbish them.
refurbish them and.
So you do not need to talk about your concrete benches.
No, my
because it looks
concrete
like for
benches
2
are
years,
dead.
we're off the concrete. And we don't have to find another thingy. There you go. For what it is everybody happy? That was a very good motion. I think we've come to a good decision.
I like to get.
Well, I am too, but you know, being and I wasn't part of the original
Yeah,
bench.
me neither, that's
people,
why.
So, yeah,
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
but I didn't
I think Linda
realize
seconded.
all of that.
And then I said all those in
Past few
favor.
minutes.
There was no nay. So anyhow, no nay. So now what are we gonna do? That was fun.
New business is review report sent to South Carolina Arts Commission.
It is 3:00. So I'm going to honor it at 3:00. 4
minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
4 minutes. I got 4 minutes.
4 minutes.
There is no way to go over. Can I just make everybody pinky swear that they'll actually read it?
Yeah.
It's okay. That's that.
Yes.
Because I'd like to be able to take on some of those things with goals or change. We're gonna have to do that during things again in May. And I'm be able to really answer some questions and say what we've done, or really look at ourselves, you know? So if, rather than take, it really is something that needs to take the amount of times that we took the bench. But, so if that's okay with everybody, your, assignment is to really read it, come up with thoughtful ideas. And then what's after that, guys?
That's it.
I would like to make just one comment if you have any interest. As the director of the Arts District, we have a lot going on. And we're going to be looking for help for someone who might want to take over Art Sunday. It was a huge success last year at the Arsenal. It didn't cost us any money. It took my time for the marketing. And I didn't know if that was something that the cultural advisory board wanted to look at. But we are going to be approaching different organizations to see if they want to help us or possibly take over.
Okay, I didn't catch the first. What's the organization?
Artist Sunday.
Oh,
Artist
Artist
Sunday,
Sunday.
and that is
I'm hearing.
It's a national program.
it is, and I will say, we had relatively great success.
So a lot of fun.
And, we're getting, a lot of the artists keep reaching out, and during that same time frame, we're going to be working on something that's going to inspire a lot. And so I just didn't know if that would be something.
What is the date of that?
It is it's a Sunday after Thanksgiving.
After Thanksgiving. Okay. That's what I thought.
I think if Linda can correct me, but Main Street would be more than willing to help with anything that's in our district and downtown.
I can hear it.
That would pair well with the downtown Main
That would
Street
be
city
great.
involvement, yeah.
It is wonderful to have a great Main Street director.
I'm sorry.
Sarah, you're the best.
Okay,
We'll support you, Sarah.
so real quickly, it has to be really quick. What's going on with your organization? If there's anything that you would like to float out there. I think Sherry did one of hers, but, real quick, our season's starting. There's lots of shows going on and we're doing, buy tickets. Yeah, buy tickets.
Well, what our major project obviously is the immersive theater, and the room is completed now. We're so excited. It looks amazing. And it's not going to be ready until around the February of 26. Yeah, I'm like you, what year is it? And so we're gonna be working on having 1 to 2 revolving exhibits in there. So we're excited about that.
Wonderful. How's it large doing?
We're living large. Some very, I don't know who it is, put some new benches in the park across the street and they are so nice. They are like a poly composite wood, so they are not gonna rust. I've already checked them out, so very appreciative of that. And then I am gonna do one little shout out kind of towards the USCB. My daughter-in-law next Thursday, August the 21st at 5:30 is going to have an opening show at USCB. Apparently she volunteered me to make food for it.
Yeah.
My mom. But she'll probably make pretty good food, so everybody please come and support USCB and my daughter-in-law Emma.
Oh, that's so sweet.
I'm sorry, the date was the 21st.
Yes, 21st. You got voluntold.
5:30, right? All right.
Yeah,
Okay,
5:30 to 7. Yeah,
and I think there might even be a little bit of wine.
that's always such a wonderful thing. We just have to figure out how to pay for it, but that's yet another.
I'm not providing that, but I am.
Okay, but no, we love food.
Okay, well, I also have something going on the 21st. So there is an association we belong to, the Student Youth Travel Association, and it's tour companies that work primarily with student groups from elementary, middle, mostly high school and college students. And they are having their conference in Savannah from the 22nd to the 24th. The 21st, the day before the conference, we're bringing 22 of them here to Beaufort for a tour to show them what we can do for student groups here in Beaufort. So we've got really tight itinerary to give them an idea of what they can do for ecotourism and cultural tourism here in Beaufort. So that'll be great.
That's wonderful. Jennifer, anything? What about shrimp? Okay, shrimp, also shrimp, all the time. Shrimp, love shrimp. Terry, anything exciting?
A lot. And I'm just gonna say, we're very busy, we're doing really well.
Good.
Yay.
But I do wanna say this, on this Thursday, on August 14th, for anyone who would like more information on navigating Harris property. And also, we're gonna have Low Country Legal doing, advice on wills, all of this is free. Wills and estate planning. Charisse and Ann are amazing, and so that's gonna be at 6 p.m. This Thursday at our Duke Street office.
That's great. Well, yeah, by the way, it was great to have you seated at the table again.
Yeah.
Sarah, I hope that your life is going to be easy. But anything
We'll
you'd like
see.
to say?
No, thank you for, you're the first one who said we've got new benches around the park, so we really are trying to spruce up all of our spot, pocket parks and
Okay.
make things look better, feel better. Sarah might have something that she's working on.
Sarah, you got anything?
We have our first street closure of the year for First Friday coming up on September 5th. It's tailgate party themed, and we'll have classic cars and games and stuff out there for the family. I unfortunately won't be there because that's the first day of my leadership Beaufort retreat. And then our next cultural district meeting will be September 8th. So you can mark your calendars now and come ready for that.
Okay, thank you. And at this point, I move to, well, would somebody to move to adjourn.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Second. Second.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I was like,
Yeah.
Aye.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank y'all for being there.
Um,